Oke guys ya, game bisa jadi game terakhir dari Onic PH ini. Game ketiga antara Onic PH dan juga Omega atau Execration. Ini kemarin tuh mereka tuh Execration yang mereka juara satu ini MSC. Yang kemarin gue pakai alis yang alis gue bersinar lawan Execration itu Omega sekarang nama timnya. Semuanya sama Kelra. Oh, dia beda jungler doang kayaknya. Kelra, Caknu, itu Max, Renzio semua. Mungkin nama Ryzen juga sih. Ini dari draftnya sekarang bener yang tadi orangnya bilang, sekarang ada di road tapi masanya di ban. Kita lihat Omega draftnya masih sama guys. Beatrix itu hero mahal. Team fightnya kuat banget masalahnya.
This is good versus the Beatrix in lane. Afterwards, there's nothing that you can get out of the bird. I mean, surely it can take out it's a big threat against Karina in a way because of the stun. Dairoth is not necessarily a threat, and you have ways to win the early stages. But come the late game, I think the two games that we saw previously are more than enough evidences of how badly the Brody.
Sekarang Onic tapi dapat UV guys. Gue megang draft Onic kayak gini sih. Gue lihat dari 3 nih. Mereka tuker UV sama Beatrix Karina, sedangkan dia dapat Baxia juga. Onic dapat Baxia sama UV, cok. Dan Baxia UV ini emang sangat mengcounter Karina dan Dirot. Sangat mengcounter Karina dan Dirot. Gua dari draft 3 ini gue megang 70 bahkan 80% Onic. Dari 3 ini ya. Belum tahu pick 45-nya kayak gimana, guys.
For Onic Philippines, you don't want to give that to Omega or maybe a Xavier.
And here's the thing, yeah, right? Those are two hot picks, and Onic cannot afford to go ban pick. They can't steal it anymore.
They can't deny pick anymore.
So here's what's gonna happen: you're gonna leave the Chak Mamba free reign. He has so many heroes left.
You could never ban out the Mamba. At this point, like especially in the tank meta. If you choose one, he's just gonna choose the other. Might as well ban other people's heroes.
You can't choke the Chak.
Yeah, I agree. Now, with the Phoebus ban, this prompts me to think that Omega wants to ban the XP lane. Thams looks to be a great ban here, but instead they will ban out the Hilda.
Dia malah kasih Tamus loh, padahal Tamus itu counter Dirot. Kayak dia pancing Tamusnya sih. Tapi Tamus bagus juga lawan Beatrix. Kenapa dia nggak ban Tamus ya? Mungkin feeling dia lebih parah Hilda kali ya. Dia mikirnya jungle. Oh, dia abisin hero-nya si ini Baloiski biar Baloiski tetap main hero moment. Kan tadi kan Kufra dia kurang kan. Onic dipaksa main Kufra lagi tadi. Game 2-nya Kufranya nggak sebagus Caknu si Baloiski banding Caknu ya. Onicnya dipaksa main Kufra lagi dengan draft seperti ini. Hildanya di ban.
Definitely. Yeah. Baksha jungle. I'm liking it, especially in the way that this.
Masih di sini Omega ngambil tank. Franco rada susah sih. Atlas di ban ya. Kenapa Grok nggak di pick ya? Gue bingung sih bro Grok nggak di pick. Tapi lawan Ginen kurang. Franco tetap Franco, dia tetap Franco sih. Walaupun ada Kufra pun. Dia berani banget. Dia emang Omega. Mungkin karena dia udah ada Karinanya kali ya. Karinanya jadi tanknya. Tapi sekarang dia ada Baxia juga sih. Hero masuk juga sih. Rada sulit gak sih Franco? Gue suka draft Onic sih. Ada UV-nya. UV, Baxia, Kufra, Brody. Last pick-nya mungkin ini Tamus. Bisa jadi langsung. Tamus juga gak jelek-jelek amat. 3 tank oke. Tetap ada Brody, UV, Damage.
Renzo was just as good as that Masha one.
Yes, I think this weekend
Bukan Esme. Rafaela. Hah? Kufra offlane. Iya, dia Kufra offlane deh.
What's going on here? Oh, it's a classic Rafaela on Baloiski, but XP lane Delarski. XP lane Kufra. What's going on here? The last time I saw this, if I'm not mistaken, it was Blacklist.
Yes. And I had the same reaction to you.
The same exact
when they were in the break of elimination, they bring up like Kufra and a tank and Rafaela all together without any magic burst.
Mereka do or die juga sih soalnya sih. Satu game lagi kalah. Ini gue yakin banget. Ini team fight Onic sekarang kuat sih. Kan dari tadi game 1-2 kan susahnya di team fight kan. Team fightnya
have
Omega
heat
kuat.
anymore.
Apakah dengan pick Kufra offlane ini untuk kuatin team fight-nya jadi menang ya? Kita lihat aja guys bentar lagi ya guys ya.
The regular season, the weakness was quite evident. You just shut down the Eve. You do whatever it takes to shut down the Eve in the early game, and they're gonna have 0 damage by late game.
Oh no. Let's go into the land of dawn and see how.
Tapi menurut gue oke-oke aja sih pick Kufra di sini. Kufra offlane bahkan ya lawannya ya, tapi landingnya pasti cacat sih.
This admittedly perplexing lineup. Backs against the wall. Match point for Smart Omega. Beloyski checking in, giving Ryzen a hard time in the early game.
Beloyski just doing the things that he loves doing most, trying to annoy people ever since the first minute of the game. Ryzen, however, maybe securing this. If Beloyski steals this away, it'd be insane.
Forces the retribution, but Ryzen, because of the fact that he was faster on the trigger, will be able to secure the lethal wonder anyway. So
Di rote dapat jungle.
for Omega. So let's talk about
Dapat
this
gak tuh?
Tyrant versus Kufra
Atau di
for a little
KS
bit.
Kufra.
Some, most leagues actually argue that Kufra is an answer in the laning stage against Tyrant.
Yeah, but Hatred very low HP here. And Max, he's gonna go down for the
Nice.
first blood. But Chak Mamba pulls him back in the turret and no damage dealt, however. First blood goes to Onic Philippines.
Lane-nya juga Brody menang.
I mean, this early on.
Brody juga Beloyski.
Retribution on Beloyski already slowed
nggak?
down. He wants
Nice,
more
digocek.
Ryzen with a great crossover.
Wih,
Beloyski's
tetep aja, Cok.
He might just fall
Nggak mati, malah Ryzen yang mati, Cok. Kelas, Beloyski kelas.
He gets it.
Kelas pakai Z.
Kills for the side of Onic.
Gamenya hidup lagi nih Onic nih.
The level 4 on Ryzen wasn't there yet. His ult, and as well, I don't think his retribution has been upgraded quite yet. I haven't. I lost count.
Nah, kebuang kan
of,
flickernya kan.
his stacks. But yeah, he was short on firepower. Could have been the kill on Beloyski.
Yep, and I was like switching over to either Ryzen rather getting that reset or not, but he was very short.
Yep. He just, I mean, Beloyski just had a chance to use the Cyclone in a different way. It looked like he was going to the right, but then he turns to the east. Which
Buset, solo kill, Cok.
Oh no, that's bad.
Gimana caranya Brody kena solo kill Betrick dah?
The solo kill on the side of the gold
Bisa
player.
kan? Bukannya menang Brody jauh ya?
Is the victor. Kyrie, Renzo in
Kenapa
trouble.
nggak langsung
This
ulti
is
aja di
front
Larski?
lines and two, but it's not
Nggak
gonna be
butuh ya.
enough to keep him alive. That is the first kill on the hands of
Susah sih
Omega
di Rot
and
di sini
Ryzen.
main sih,
Gonna
sumpah
run
gue
away from
jujur-jujuran
Beloyski.
aja ya guys ya. Ini draftnya anak Onic, gue udah bilang dari awal.
Looking for a target here. Revenge is still available. Chaknu, it's level 4. Can he actually
Dapet lo Ryzen lo.
Tetap
Tetap mati sih. Nggak, gimana caranya di Rot main guys? Di Rot ke Kufra nggak bisa, ke Baxia nggak bisa, ke YV nggak bisa, ke Rafaela nggak bisa,
Ryzen is
ke Brody juga nggak bisa.
on the mark as Wolf put it. Kyrie very low. Can he get away? Renzio. does
Susah
not
nih
have it.
Renzio main di
Strike
sini nih.
online, gets away with it.
Team fight-nya udah pasti susah banget si di Rot.
4-1 is our kill score.
Atau enggak dia mainnya enggak kayak fighter, dia mainnya jadi M gitu loh. Nunggu Kufra gigit baru dia ulti dari belakang, damage skill 1 kayak gitu. Kena lagi, Cok. Ya ampun. Chak Mamba. The Black Mamba.
Entire team. Renzo will keep Dolarski away from his own minion wave. And Onic Philippines suddenly
Boleh-boleh.
loses that lead.
Here
Chak
we're
no.
seeing exactly why the Kufra might be an answer to the Dairoth in the laning stage. Because look, it's actually deadlock.
Yep.
Dilarski's doing fine.
Darcy's doing fine for sure because he's a Kufra, and you can't expect him to like win the lane massively whatsoever. But at the same time, if you know how to use the Kufra in the XP lane by activating him early on, you're gonna be good as a team. But the fact still remains: Omega getting that turtle erases all of Onyx's efforts in the early stages. To add to that, Kelra actually won that matchup versus Mark.
Another hook, this time on Kyrie, suppress him.
Kebers lo. Kebers lo. Kebers lo guys. Sakit banget shotgunnya, gila.
He falls down. Marky looks to be next. He doesn't have his ultimate just yet. The reset is there, and it's the damage.
Walah.
Omega with quick kill.
Sakit banget ya. Ini Kelra nih jago. Antara jago atau emang hero-nya haram ya. Masa Baxia di burst kayak gitu kayak gak ada harganya.
Dilarski jumps in with a tyrant's revenge, but Renzio is fine. Doesn't want to pick this fight against 3 seconds away from the turtle.
Massive series of plays around this one, but Omega holds a 1.5k gold lead, and also Onic, on the other hand, will be taking control over that turtle area.
Caknunya
Let's
jago
watch this
sih ini
replay
Caknu.
brought to you by Samsung Galaxy A series.
Very great stand coming out from Chaknu. Belaski
Sakit
had
banget
the
berse.
idea to utilize his flicker and his holy baptism, but that was also the same time where Kelra actually let go of his shotgun shots, and Marky unfortunately overly stayed here. He didn't have any ways to escape it. Anyways, he thought that he would be able to take out Ryzen, but with the rest of the gang in there,
Caknu
there's a
mati.
big punish coming out from Onic Philippines.
And
Nggak apa-apa sih
somehow
walaupun Carla lagi game
Maxhill
Onic ini late game-nya kuat ini. Gue udah bilang guys, komposisi 2 DPS sama 2 tank tuh komposisi paling kuat.
1.5 HP. The jump in by Kyrie.
It's a
Digas
3v1
dalam
scenario. Kelra might be going in, going down. Kelra is still up, and
Gila,
he's
hidup,
gonna
Cok.
survive. As Etomax
Hidup,
arrives,
Baloyskinya
the
mati,
barangay
guys.
cannot wants blood.
Enggak sih, enggak mati.
Black Shoes is available. He uses it for the reset,
Mati
and here
sih.
comes Ryzen. It's a 2v3, but Baloyski, he's gonna fall down to the dark orbs, and
Caknu.
Chaknu, he says, we want more. I'm gonna hook one of ya, and it's not
Hampir.
gonna be Kyrie, because he's gonna dodge.
Apa namanya?
The Filipino Savage never walk alone.
Tapi Omega juga 2 damage dealer sih guys. Beatrick, Lilia, tanknya ada Franco sama Karina. Tapi sekarang Onic komposisinya udah rada-rada ngikutin komposisi RSG TNC Omega, yaitu main 2 tank dan 2 damage dealer. Kan sebelumnya DPS-nya 1 doang di Marky. Sekarang Hatred, If Brody, Baxia sama ini. Oke sih. Ya ampun. Caknunya kena mulu. Ultinya apa, hooknya.
Uses his black shoes to escape that engage coming in from Delarski. Ryzen goes in to the face of Kyrie. Poissons popped here, and look at Renzo on the backside. Spectre step
gila.
to the Abysm strike, deletes the Eve, and Kelra, he's finding
Wah,
blood, but
pulang
they're gonna find
nggak
the
berhasil.
turret
Masih ada harapan
first.
sih.
Onic Philippines, they
Ingat
lose
late
the
game-nya masih kuat, ada Yves soalnya.
Turrets are fallen, and now they're gonna slowly go for
If
the
Brody.
choke, taking away Kyrie's farm. Wolf, how does Onic answer this?
I don't know. You have 4.2k gold lead already for Omega. They already have lost everything. We are saying that Onic Philippines is all in the early stages, but they lost
Beda 5.000
everything.
sih
And
duitnya.
all of the systematic play from Onic Philippines have
Posisi
gone down the
Kelranya lu
drain
lihat.
because they
Kyrie-nya
are
kebers
so
nih.
anxious trying to get
Aduh.
kills.
Sakit banget anjir.
He finds one.
Udah
And
aneh, coy,
Delarski is
damage-nya.
trying to survive in the front lines, and Renzo lands his
Waduh,
Abysm strike on
rata,
3,
coy.
but look at the Savage with a double kill.
Wah, dapet lagi. My god, Caknu.
He's gonna try to stay alive, but
The
they
Philippine Mamba.
the food. A triple kill for the Filipino Savage.
Wah,
He
maniak nih,
wants
Cok.
another Savage, but can he get it? Chaknu will not be landing his Iron Hook, and there is no comeback from the
Jago
Ironic
si
Philippines,
Kelra
but it
ini
is
emang.
a 2-for-2.
Cold-blooded, calculated, and just on point. Who am I talking about? Chaknu or Kelra or Ryzen? All of these words describe these players from Omega right now.
Shotgun to the face of a backshot. Marky was able to get out of there. In fact, they managed to stop Renzo and Etomax, but there's just so much firepower coming out from the members of Omega. Everybody's rich. You see Chaknu
Caknu.
his hooks onto Onic Philippines. Baloyski.
Harusnya di rote susah
They took
main
their
padahal
time.
ya guys ya.
They're
Di
playing
rote
with
0-2
set,
sih.
but you know already what's gonna happen, and Etomax just with that swaggy usage of
Tapi
the
tetep aja coba Beatrix-nya gimana.
the jump coming out from Delarski.
Setelah gue lihat Beatrix-nya nggak bisa dibunuh, so nggak ada assassin. Gue udah bener kan gue bilang di rote nggak main, susah 0-2. Cuman Beatrix-nya ini, aduh hampir kena.
For the rest of his team, but as you know, Omega, they know when they can get more. They know where there is more to get, and you're talking about.
Nah, ngumpul berempat ya mau ngilang nih. Kalau nggak ngilang,
eventually could have been permanent damage. Could have been the third if Omega had their way.
8-1 on the Filipino Savage. That is just insane.
duitnya 8.000, duit si Brody-nya 5.000, beda 3.000. Nggak ngerti lagi gue.
What, 8 minutes?
Mainnya udah ngumpul berempat kayak gini, udahlah cok. Ini Kelra udah
And you see
monster
Kelra
cok.
already with 3 items compared that to Marky. You don't stand a chance. You see Kelra with a shotgun to the face of the backshell was already enough to burst down a supposedly tanky hero. So what I'm trying to say is that Onic Philippines can no longer catch up against Omega. It's gonna take them a miracle play for them to turn this game around. Omega surely in the driver's seat.
And that concealed play didn't work out for Omega, but still, a 7,000 gold lead. The purple buff will be secured here by Onic Philippines, which means they do get a little bit of a breathing room in this 9-minute game.
Onic juga mainnya udah ngumpul berlima, dia juga nggak bisa nge-split, nggak ada hero split guys. Sedangkan Omega masih ada D-Rod, hero yang farmingin lane, makin gapnya makin gede lagi. Ya kan?
So,
Omega.
for them
Oh,
to
ini
not play
Renzo.
out of their comfort, or at least to not force
Omega sama Onic sama-sama main komposisi nih. Tapi si Onic nih nggak ada hero yang manjangin lane. Kalau Omega ada, jadi gapnya makin gede makin gede.
The lanes controlled by Omega is near the Lord area, which means this could be
Udah
an
beda
uncontested
7.300 sekarang.
And it's not like they can really actually fight this, right?
No.
Because even if they, let's just say Kyrie manages to pull up Horizon and steal that Lord, right? They still will suffer from the brunt of the damage from Omega. And look at Omega, they're not actually committing into the Lord.
So they're confident that the steal from Onic will cost so much. They'll have to pay in blood.
Mereka ngebet doang nih mau perang ini.
I'm gonna answer it preemptively. It's
Dia
not
nunggu
worth
Franco
it.
nya.
If you lose at least 2 or 3 dudes to get this level 1 Lord.
Aduh, mainnya udah ngumpul-ngumpul gini, serem banget. Ini Franco-nya jadi online banget kalau udah ada damage udah cukup kayak gini.
That will be enough to
Aduh, kena lagi. Ya ampun.
Delarski gets
Aduh.
suppressed, but Ryzen he can't cross that map.
Aduh.
It's a little bit too thick, but it doesn't
Sakit.
matter because Kelra secures it anyway. That's
Cak lu
one
nih
man
apaan
down
sih,
for
Cok?
side of Onic Philippines, and this could
Bukan
be
Kufranya doang yang jago gue liat.
a level 1 Lord for Omega.
Oh. You can see that
Hampir
Omega
kena,
is
Cok.
not holding on to the Lord.
Serem nih orang.
And after that roll, they know for sure that they have the advantage. Such a
Bahaya,
disciplined and
guys.
calculated
Bisa
play
pulang
from
bener
Omega.
Onic PH nih.
They looked really prepared for this, and at the same time, they are doing everything correctly in this game.
They have every inch covered in that Lord operation. Again, that's why they were so comfortable with just not starting it. They were allowing Onic to make the plays, and even with that, given that situation, look at mid lane tier 2. Mid lane tier 2 could have fallen down. They know that there had to be some defense there, and now bottom lane. Situation. Onic cannot
Duitnya beda
do
10.000, Cok.
exactly what they want to do because they'd have to pay the
susah
price. They'd
sih.
have to either send
Walaupun
lane,
late game
be
menang,
down,
bisa menang, tapi udah
or
beda
make
10.000
a
gini
misplay
gimana,
or
Cok?
misposition the way that they did here, notwithstanding that hook from Chaknu, which already happened.
Yes.
So there were so many fail safes for Omega to even get nervous and start playing out of their pace. They literally had all the time.
Yeah.
And speaking of time, when is Onic time?
I don't know. In this game, it's very hard to think about that. Maybe for sure you can say that you can honestly say that look for a Kufra ultimate that will add them good layering with the Eve ultimate and then the torn apart memory. You can theorize that, but will that happen? That's the real question. Maybe the only saving grace here is that only E2 Max has got the Purify, so a potential for that kind of play might be good, but Onic time is so
MLBB
difficult to think about
influencer
right
like
now. I'm not saying that they don't have a chance anymore. I'm just saying that it's gonna be incredibly difficult. They're gonna be they need to pull off something out of their box of miracles if that exists.
It's going to be extremely hard for the side of Onic Philippines here. It has been a very rough season for Onic Philippines, and in fact, it has been a rough run for the most part. First runner-up after first runner-up, and now not even close to the championship. This must be a big struggle for Onic Philippines, and as we wait for the technical pause to end, things are looking great for all the Omega fans in the
Oh, yeah,
venue
for sure.
right now.
It's crazy to think that in a game that they can afford to lose, they aren't even looking weak at all. They're they have gotten everything that they needed in the early stages of the game, and it's not like they are letting go of it. They even have found a big opening, taking out one hero from Onic Philippines.
And they didn't even need to take out that hero. They didn't even need to
Yeah,
kill
exactly.
Delarski to secure that Lord. But it was there, they took it, and it barrels them even further towards an inevitable victory. Again, even before this Luminous Lord, even before this kill on Delarski, they were, let's say, a foot ahead, right? A step ahead. Now they're about 2 steps ahead.
Yep.
It's hard to see how Onic PH may come back, and again, it might take a miracle and a half, but let's not forget, this is not unfamiliar territory.
Udah mulai lagi, guys, ya.
Remember, in this very same building, they turned around on.
Bisa yuk Onic, it's Onic time.
It was the other way around. Oh my God, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
A 10,000 gold lead here for Omega means they could potentially
Wih,
close
pause lagi,
this
Cok.
out. But we're gonna head on to another technical pause. The Lord on the top side, a good wave in the mid lane and down bottom lane means it's gonna be a tough time, or perhaps
Siapa yang
even
nge-post nih?
a series-ending
Yeah.
defense for Onic Philippines.
How do you theorize a defense for Onic Philippines? Well, I think they still have. I saw some holy defenses pop, so at least there's that. It might be like a Lord push that will not literally end the game, but at the same time it will put them at a disadvantage. Now, afterwards, they have to use their Baxia as well as their Kufra to make the play. Maybe get a pick of one or two. Surely target Kelra, right? You want to take out Kelra with your big ultimates. That's the first step. I mean, for them if they want to mount this comeback.
Yep, number one priority is to take down Kelra, shut him down. Wami, last time we saw, what was he sitting at? The Filipino Savage 8-1?
8-1.
Is it 9-1 now?
I
Was he
think
the one who got the kill on Dilarski?
it's still growing. And looking at Kelra right now, it feels like it's a different Kelra.
Yeah, that's
Like,
9-1.
we know that Kelra's not shying away from being one of the heels of the league for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Something that I think he doesn't even take pride in. It's just him.
No.
And when you look at him right now, he's very affectionate towards his own teammates and the opposite towards his enemies. Cold-blooded savage. And he has been performing and showing up in this series.
And that's what makes Kelra such an interesting character. Yes, he is a young man.
Anong
Yes,
oras na rin kasi?
mischievous. Yes, he is outspoken, but his talent
Yep.
is undeniable. Nobody in the league can play the way
Yes.
Kelra does.
And if you ask if you ask the people that are playing in the league, they always put a respect to Kelra. They know that when Kelra is there, the talent also follows.
Yeah.
While it is true that some people will not find his antics cool or will not agree with what he thinks and how he thinks, there is
Tigas
that factor of
3-2 sorry.
having the
3 sorry.
as well as the skills.
Yeah, and not just that,
Aduh,
kid
masa
works
Onic
hard.
PH pulang, Cok.
That's
Kid
true.
works
Also
hard.
true. That is also true.
So it's undeniable that his work ethic is there, but again, out of the game, that's something else.
Yeah, that's
Cebuana.
something.
That's what makes him the Filipino savage.
He's a straight out savage. And right now we are
Pakis
looking
John
at the
Magat,
crowd
Mr.
of
Salam.
people literally supporting whoever is in front of them.
Even one of our beloved floor directors, John Maga. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got fans.
Yeah, and Omega right now feels like they're comfortable, they're happy with what's happening. And honestly, like, contrary to popular belief that Kelra is the first one to celebrate, he's not even smiling in this scenario. Job's not finished.
Nope.
They have a mission, man.
And the mission is to close out this series. And Onic Philippines, on the other hand, man, I feel for
Itu
them
tangannya
because
pakai
we've seen them
jempolnya apa tuh?
literally at the top.
Putih-putih.
Literally in the brink of being a
Bedak ya?
champion. And
Nah, ini udah main nih guys, ini
I
udah main
can't
nih.
help but to say it again and again because it's the reality that Onic Philippines has to live with.
Oh, big shout out to Pika though.
Ooh,
One of our mates out there.
he is literally, I believe, responsible for part of the success of this
Yeah.
team right now, Omega. And again, I think it comes down to the adage of you look good, you feel good, and you play well.
You play well, you feel your confidence rising. We are
Oke, udah main lagi guys.
once again.
And as Wolf mentioned, those holy shields have been popped, and top lane's gonna go. Just a matter of time before mid goes as well. Bottom gonna be next on the docket for Smart Omega, and they are just going at this step by step. Victory and the sweep are mere moments away unless Onic PH pick up the speed.
11k gold lead against a team that scales better. What is your answer for Onic Philippines? Again, a pickoff will mean a lot, but Chaknu is already on the case.
Dapat anjir. Caknu, Cok. Dapat MM-nya lagi.
The fiesta continues for the barangay, and once again they scream tapusin. Baloyski.
Kok bisa miss? Kok Caknunya bisa miss itu? UV-nya padahal lagi ulti. Oh, udah GG, Cok. Onic PH pulang. Pulang.
The Kings of the Sea are a step closer.
Berarti Onic PH udah dong. Udah nggak main lagi guys.
Title, a 3-0 sweep by Smart Omega.
And that is another snag from Chaknu, getting one of maybe the second most important hero to take. Not having a marksman on that defense will mean the world. And this time, Kelra is looking for a hug. I'm pretty sure that he's looking for his mentor,
This
Marky.
is a heartfelt moment for the Filipino Savage. You see here how he was reaching out for his mentor, his former teammate in Marky.
Marky emang former
You
teammate.
know it when it's a teammate. Kelra is always affectionate towards a teammate, and he views Marky as a teammate, his former mentor. And man, must be hard.
Not
for
just a
Onic Goodness
teammate,
right now.
not just a teammate, a good friend, a compatriot. And ladies and gentlemen, behold the winners of this series, Smart Omega. Look at the smiles on their faces. I cannot figure out what's going on in Kelra's mind. It's perplexing to see the Filipino Savage not celebrate his victory as much.
Yeah.
It's not over yet. I mean, the last time that they celebrated way too early, they didn't have the success to go with it. But this time, they know that the mission is not done yet. This is just a step towards the goal, which is the championship and maybe the defense, the title defense for
Itu,
everyone.
Cok.
Look
Dua,
at the
Cok.
love between Etomax and his former teammate in hatred. Man, now I understand. We set this up earlier before the game started. There are so many analogies, so many prior relationships between the players in Onic PH and Smart Omega.
Kayak gue mau
And
nangis
this
loh
win
padahal.
does not sit well with
Anjir,
anyone.
anjir.
Yeah, it's just
Sedih
business
banget,
at the end of
Cok.
the day.
Kekalahan
And
itu.
you're getting, well, technically paid to win. When you're in a professional organization setup, they entered this scenario. They know that they have to take their friends down. They did it, and now they're moving on.
Oke, kita lanjut ntar. Aras G versus TNC ya guys ya.
Really looked like they weren't